And we are back. Welcome to another episode of the Unfiltered Journey podcast. I am your host, Will. Listen, man, it is 2026. 2026. Happy New Year to you all. Um, I hope that the new year is really a positive one for each and every one of you. I don't know all my listeners. I don't know who the people that are tuning in, but I can genuinely tell you, I pray that 2026 is so much of a profitable year for you monetarily, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, that, when you look back at the beginning of the year, you'll say, hey, I got some good return on this. And I really hope that for you. I heard that we are leaving the year of the snake and entering the year of the horse. So hopefully everybody had the chance to shed anything negative off of their body, off their spirit, off their mental, and becomes the horse this year. And just run free, run rampant. Run it up. In the simplest terms, run it up. I know for me, one of the things that I wanted to focus on was getting my sense of humor back, right? I think I kind of lost that last year. I was so in tune with everything that I had on my goal list that I really didn't take the time to laugh, right? I don't think I had those moments of laughter. I mean, I'm pretty sure they were in there. But when I look back, I'm like, I was so driven on accomplishing a lot of different things that I'm blessed and I'm happy that I did. But I lost sense of humor in there. And the importance of having a sense of humor and understanding that the role that it plays in our everyday life is very valuable. It's very important. Sometimes I think that we don't. Um, Realize or appreciate what a sense of humor is. And I remember Cat Williams had this bit in one of his stand-ups where he talked about God put things on his earth for him to laugh at, and he's going to get his seven chuckles in. And then once after he get his seven chuckles in, he's going to call somebody else in so they can get their seven chuckles and so forth and so on. I mean, if you can find that bit, take a look at it. I think you'll appreciate that. I think he's a great comedian as well. But the importance of having a sense of humor is not just for your mental health, right? It's also for your physical health. And to understand that is to understand that laughter is the best medicine, right? I'm not telling you don't go to a doctor. Please go to your doctor whenever you gotta go to your doctor. But laughter is the best medicine. Like it's it's something that it could tell you, it could save your life. To be honest with you, right? It's the work that it does on the inside, right? It's the work that we don't really understand, but it does a lot for you on the inside. And laughter is not just a mood booster. It's a tool, right? And how we use that tool in our everyday life can determine how things come out for us. And yeah, somebody's gonna say, well, what do you do when it's this and it's that? How we use that tool is really gonna be based on us, right? How do I determine to use this sense of humor tool to help me with this situation? And again, I will say that I've used it as I recollect, on memories during a death. I used it and it helped me out a lot, right? So understanding that humor in certain moments in life can actually be a benefit, right? So in the physical aspect of humor, right, laughter isn't just an emotion, right? It triggers chemicals to our physical changes in the body, right? When we understand the benefits of a sense of humor, right, it releases the feel good chemical, the endorphins, that actually helps lift our mood and reduce the pain, right? And we we know these words and we know these things, right? So a lot of things I'm gonna say is, things that we understand, but to understand how beneficial having a sense of humor is gonna come at a deeper level where what it's doing to our body, right? So it being a chemical that releases an endorphin, which actually lifts our mood and reduces pain. I'm talking about we're sad one minute and a friend come around and tell a joke that's actually really good, and we're laughing and we don't realize how much that's doing inside of us. What's that releasing, right? And when we're talking about being in a state of sadness, we're creating, or in a state of stress, right? We have these stress hormones, or we're releasing cortisol in our body. And having a sense of humor actually helps calm the body and the mind. It actually gives you that release to come out of that stress hormone and actually reduce your levels of cortisol, right? We have to understand that, understanding that having a sense of humor is beneficial to our immune system, right? How our immune functions, and having a good laugh, uh, or even just being in that mood, right? Having that good mood around us, it actually does a lot. So releasing antibodies, right? Increasing the level of antibodies that we have in our body, or elevating helping the activity of our immune function, right? That is a great benefit to understand that we need to laugh. Bottom line is we need to laugh, right? Men can't always be stoic, women can't always be stern. Humans can't always just be this, right? And that was one of the valuable lessons that I had to learn last year. Like I can go after my goals, I can accomplish my goals, but I can't forget to laugh, right? I can't forget to have those good moments. And yeah, people will tell you, like, Will travels a lot, he's always this and he's always that, but a good laugh does a lot. And when I looked at 2025, and I'm like, there was a lot of things where I could have used a sense of humor. There's a lot of situations where I was in and I didn't laugh. I stayed in that space and I didn't realize what that was doing to my body, right? So as much as I was going to the gym, but I was in a situation where it was not as pleasant, right? But understanding and learning that using my sense of humor could have helped me in a lot of ways in 2025. So that's why I made it one of my top priorities for 2026. And so far, I'm off to a really good start. So I went out to this bonsai class, and we're going to continue to talk about the sense of humor. And I was talking to this couple, and we talked about a few things. They asked me a few questions, kind of personal, but I was okay with answering them. And the husband made me laugh, right? I can't really remember what he said, but he made me laugh. And going through what I'm going through, as far as the process that I'm in, I realized on that car ride home, I was like, I really kind of like forgot about a lot of things. And I was just in those moments, right? Like I was present and I was laughing and I'm connecting with other people. So that moment in time where that sense of humor came out and that laugh came out, I realized like it really did something for me. So that's why I was like, oh wow, that resonated with the episode that we are talking about today, right? And we're gonna talk more about why it's important. But for your immune system, and that it helps the antibodies and actually increases the function of your immune system, but it also is great for your heart, right, and for your circulation, because laughing and having a sense of humor improves blood vessel function, right? So again, I'm not a doctor. I looked this stuff up. I've made some notes, and I'm just gonna give you some stuff. Take with it as you may, but I think it's very, very important, because these are the things that I don't think that we understand why it's important to have a sense of humor. So having that, and it's just like it's a kind of it's a light workout, right? Because I learned that when you have a sense of humor and you're laughing, it actually helps you burn a few calories. Now, look, it's not a substitute for the gym. You still got to get there, but laughing, they say laughing, I think it was like 10 to 15 minutes a day, really does help the increase, like the function of burning a few more calories. Now, get to the gym, or go for a walk or whatever. It's not your ultimate substitute. So, but that's the amazing thing about having a sense of humor, right? These little things that we don't even realize how it affects our day to day, right? How it affects our physical right now. And understand that we cannot use sense of humor as a substitute, right? We have to understand it's like we're using it to give our body a nod that there's some work going on, right? That we're in the moment, right? And also we have to understand that it's not a substitute for therapy, right? It's not a substitute for healthy habits, but it supports them, right? It's still important to do all the healthy things that we're doing in our lives and incorporating having a sense of humor, right? Understanding that not every moment in our life has to be serious. We don't always have to act our age, right? We still have that little kid inside of us where we want to laugh, we want to be playful, we want to have a good time. And those moments is very vital to your everyday life and how your physical body actually reacts. And it allows you to kind of get out of certain modes, right? Have you ever thought about like a reason why you should laugh at yourself? Like, I've actually had moments where I laugh at myself, and I still do it to this day. And we don't realize that we're doing our body a favor, we're doing our immune system a favor, we're doing our mental health a favor, we're doing our spiritual health a favor. Because if you're gonna sit here and tell me you don't need to laugh, I'm gonna tell you you're a lie. Because even in the Bible, they had a good time. You know what I mean? So that's an amazing thing that we have to understand. But having a sense of humor is very important to your physical, um, as well as is your mental and your spiritual. But I tell you like this. Like, there's one time I was so hyped to go on this trip. Um, where was I going? I can't remember where I was going, but I was so hyped. I was so hyped. I got up the morning. I'm like, bags packed. I got everything ready. I start doing what I'm doing. And I get in the car. I drive. I'm not thinking anything of anything. I'm like, I'm out of here. Lo and behold, I actually ended up at the wrong airport, right? Like I'm doing my normal stuff. I have my check. I'm like, hey, I called one of the attendees over, staff, and I'm like, look, it's not allowing me to check in. Like, what's going on? I check, do my stuff. So the lady goes, let me see your pass. So I show her my pass. And she goes, sorry, sir, but you're at the wrong airport. And I'm like, wait, what? No, I'm always leaving from this airport. What are you talking about? So I look down and I'm supposed to be leaving from LaGuardia. And I'm at JFK because I'm so used to leaving from JFK that I didn't realize that this one trip that I was taking, I had to leave from LaGuardia. And so I had to take my bag. I had to run out of the airport, get a cab unnecessarily, which means I had to leave my car at JFK to run over to. It ended up being so crazy that after all that, I ended up making my flight. Whew, you know what I mean? I ended up making my flight, and every day, ever since then, like every trip that I've gone on, I double check it because that's like my little inside joke to myself. Like, hey, you don't want to drive to the wrong airport again, bro. So you better make sure you're going to the right place. You know what I mean? So it was kind of weird that I had to do that, but having that moment, right? Having that screw up, that goofy moment, it actually like made me realize like, oh, okay, it's okay. Like, you can laugh at yourself, right? Like, you don't have to be like, oh man, idiot, I didn't that. No, laugh at yourself, right? Like, everybody makes a mistake, right? Who's perfect? Nobody's perfect, you know. I remember one time I was so adamant on a decision I made at work. I was like, nah, I did this, and at the last moment, I realized I did nothing of what I said. And I had to be like, because I was so firm on like where I was. I was like telling them like, nah, I know I did. I know I did because this, and this. And then I sat down literally before going into that situation. And I'm like, wait a minute, where is this? And wait, I just, and I realized that I never did any of that. So it's funny because although the details is very like blurry right now, every now and again somebody will mention to me something about like something I did at work, and I'll be like, that was stupid. So like, it's okay because in every aspect of our life, we will have something like that, right? We're gonna have a moment where we thought we did something or we thought we said something and we didn't. And it's okay because sometimes it's not as serious as we make it, right? We have to get into the point of where it's like we know what is serious and we know what's not. We know what to put the oh, okay, I got it. You know what I mean? Like I really made a mistake. Let me, because again, having a sense of humor allows you to understand that not only we didn't hurt nobody or anything like that, or we didn't intentionally hurt anybody, but we're allowed to make those mistakes and laugh at them, right? Because we all make mistakes. We all do things that we don't agree with, and sometimes, when you look back at it, it's okay to laugh at it, right? It really is. It's okay to laugh at it. God bless my mom. You know, um, this was at a time like, you know, whereas my mom, me, and my brother, and she wanted to hang with the big boys basically, and and I laughed because I was like, nah, I don't think you should do that, and I'm grown. My mom, she loves to. My mom was a trip, so she would be like, I'm grown. I know what I'm doing. I've been doing this long before you. I was like, all right, cool, whatever. And I let her do it. And then in the end, she was like not herself, right? And we would laugh about that, right? And those are moments in our life where when we look back and we look at situations and really laugh at them, right? Like it happened already. So there's no point in being upset with yourself or whatever emotion that you have. There's no point in it. It's already over. And there is a light moment in that situation where you can really laugh at yourself, right? I've used sense of humor plenty times over in my life in some hard times. And I might get in trouble for this one, but my aunt knows my heart, right? Um, my auntie, right? I loved her. She stayed with us for a little while, and one of my favorite. So I can't say one of, but she was my favorite aunt. But I remember one day, this was at the beginning of like, when I first had a kid. My brother had his kid, and we all were living together. And my aunt came home, and she was a bit intoxicated, and she came home. I love her because she was always like, "Hey, I'm gonna cook for you guys. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. Everything, whatever, whatever." So, so it was my niece that she was like, "Oh, let me hold my great niece. Let me hold my great niece." And we're like, "No, auntie, it's okay. No, auntie, it's okay." And again, this is one of those moments where we can laugh because nobody was hurt. It was a funny moment, and we all got a good memory out of it because of how it turned out, right? So she's like, let me hold my great niece and everything. So we, of course, she held her, but because of her being inebriated, she actually fell over on the couch. Now, again, some people are like, oh, that's not funny. It is because one, she had the know all to like protect her great niece, and number two, it was funny because like even she got up and laughed. You know what I mean? Like in that moment, she got up and laughed. So it's like I'm gonna laugh too because my aunt thinks it's funny. Like, and that's like some things like when she had passed away. That was like one of the first memories that came up that I was like, oh, I remember that. Like it's like people don't understand that sometimes even in those hard moments and those dark moments, we can always find something to laugh at, right? To have a sense of humor in, right? So, again, my mom passed. She passed in 2020, and I will be very, very honest with a lot of people, right? Everybody here. I've never really dealt with my mom passing away in the sense of people be like, well, how did you deal with that and everything of that nature? I think a lot of it came because of me seeing death so much that I actually kind of became okay with it, right? And I know that's probably like a bad thing to say, but I'll say having my dad die at 9, I watch people die in front of me, and then life is life, right? You deal with death as it comes, and I think that for a long time, me not getting over the death of my father kind of prepared me for the death of my mother. And as I got older and I started to learn more things and I started to put more things in my toolbox, I started to realize that I didn't need to be in the emotion of sadness all the time when those things happen. So I guess when my mom passed, and when I say I didn't fully deal with it, it was like, okay, we knew it was coming, we knew it was happening. Well, what do we do now, Will? And for me, I was just gonna focus on everything good, right? I was going to focus my energy, my thoughts, my memories on everything good. Like that's all I ever did, right? So everything that I'm literally thinking about my mom was her birthday party, um, where she had on some white dress and she was trying to dance as if she was still in her 20s. I'm like, bruh, relax. You know what I mean? Like, let alone we let you get away with wearing this dress, but now you're doing a little bit too much. But like, it's things like that that I think allowed me to have a sense of humor in those moments, right? And that's what I hope that people have to understand, that we can use those moments for benefit, right? And we have to understand why it's important to have that sense of humor, right? What if I take in those moments seriously, right? What if I was still stressing over it? Like, what if, right? Like, what if I stayed in that space? What if, right? But I laughed, right? And I got through it. And I still find humor in those things, and amongst other things that I find humor in, right? Um, and that's the thing that we have to ask ourselves, right? When we're having a sense of humor, like, why does every moment have to be so serious? Because it doesn't. It doesn't. And that's the thing that we have to say to ourselves. Like, we don't always have to stress over every little detail. We don't have to stress over every situation. We don't have to just always be so, well, I gotta be like this because society says. With all due respect, again, I tell a lot of people I don't like cursing. Fuck what society says. It's about you and your thoughts and how do you deal with things on a daily basis, right? So having that sense of humor, when we look at it and we really analyze it, how did that help us? How did that help me get to this space in life, right? And I laughed and I got through those things, right? And you laughed and you got through those things, right? So there's the benefit of those things. Um, as we were talking about having a sense of humor and understanding why it's a coping tool, right? We talked about my mom passing. We talked about my aunt passing, right? I can tell you about how, like, my dad passed, and now when I look back and I laugh at certain things because of what it helps me deal with, right? It is a coping tool. And understanding that is, when we talk about stressful, painful times, we have to understand how laughter helps reset the body and the mind. And it reduces, like, the tension and the stress that we are incurring within ourselves, right? It eases the pain, it refreshes our perspective, right? The laughing matter is how it affects your body positively, right? In those moments, right? And if you having a hard time, like, building moments in your life to have that, right? Like, watch a stand-up comedy show. Like, go watch. There's some great comedians out there, right? Dave Burr, uh, Dave Chappelle. Oh, Bill Burr. Sorry if I messed up his name. Dave Chappelle, Cat Williams, Kevin Hart. There's a lot of great comedy, stand-up comics out there. There's a lot of great comedy movies out that you can go and watch, right? That can help you in those times, right? Having a sense of humor is basically a sense of perception, right? They say having a sense of humor actually is it reveals your level of emotional intelligence, right? So in order to do that, like we got to think about what we need to do on a day-to-day basis, right? We all have our 9 to 5s, we all have our responsibilities afterwards, right? But how do we actually detox our body, right? How do we get those moments to reset? And laughing, having that sense of humor is one way to do so. Now, somebody's gonna say, well, I don't have an hour and a half to sit down. And I'm not asking you to do that. I'm asking you to build something in your life that actually gives you a sense of humor to actually relieve your body, your mental of those stressors, right? So the gym is a great outlet, but sometimes the gym is not enough. We have to understand that one thing helps each other. And if you remember earlier, I said having a sense of humor is not the substitute, but it's a helper, it's a tool to everything else that we're doing. So all the healthy habits that we have, we actually, include that into our day-to-day life. Reconnect with family and friends who make you laugh. There are family members and friends in our lives that our brain will probably say they don't take anything serious. And they do, but they actually see the positive side of life. They see the light side of it, and they're just like, they're making everything feel good, right? They're making us laugh. They're getting us out of our moments of stress and despair. And they're taking the time out to make us laugh. So reconnect with those people, right? You don't have to reconnect with everybody, because one thing I told you guys in my last episode for 2025, I removed all the chairs from my table. I'm going to be so completely honest. All the chairs have been removed from my table. You have to earn that spot. But on the other hand of that is understanding that there are people in our life that actually bring some good energy towards us. And we do need to reconnect with those people. And we do need to have some sort of space, right? And that's how some people earn their spots in your life. Um, learn learn to laugh at yourself. Learn to laugh at yourself. So what? You messed up. Okay, so what? And did it kill you? No, right? You messed up. All right, cool, whatever. Here, I'll tell you another one. I just came back from Switzerland, and I'm walking to my car, all happy, calm. It's 2026. I'm good. Hey. So I had remote start my car to warm up because it snowed here apparently while I was gone. So I remote start my car. And I get to the car, I put the stuff in the car, put my luggage and everything in there, I close the door, boom. I walk around to the other side, lock my damn self out. I locked myself out of the car, bro. like, like I'm like, oh, okay, I'm getting ready to go home. I'm gonna get something to eat, get to bed, get a rest day, and then I'm back to work. Wait a minute, I can't get in my car. Where's my key? Oh, damn it, I left it in that bag. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, wait, but my car shouldn't lock. And I never realized that I didn't really unlock it. But I was like, damn. So not only did it take me another hour before somebody came to actually open the car door, because unfortunately my car service people were no benefit to me. But it took me an hour to get somebody to come open the door for me and then make my way home. So I'm cold. I'm hungry. I'm sleepy. All because I left the keys in the wrong spot. You know what I mean? Like, laugh at yourself. It's okay, right? It is okay. You can laugh at yourself, right? I don't care if people laugh at me, but I'm gonna laugh at myself too, right? So it's important. Like, learn to laugh at yourself, and it's okay. There's something called like laughter yoga or something like that. I'm not too like familiar with it, right? And they say, like, I guess they're like, what they're saying is like with laughter yogurt, look at me, yoga. Um, even fake laughter can actually trigger positive effects in your body. So even if you fake laugh, it's actually doing something positive, right? So that is something that you can try. I'm not too familiar with that, but I will look it up. And it's not like we all don't do it anyway, because I'm pretty sure there's a bunch of times where we've laughed at things that was not funny. So if we've already done it, I think we kind of pretty much got the idea of it, right? Um, but those are the things that we should really kind of build into our everyday life, right? And remind ourselves not to take everything so serious, right? Lighthearted moments can really change the way our day goes, the way we think, the way we physically feel, right? Um, Shoot, I was off from the gym for like 2 weeks. Like I was spotty with my gym, my workouts for like 2.5 weeks. So I went in the other day thinking like I could pick up right where I left off at, and my body said, "Nah, bro, what you doing?" Oh, you thought yeah, my body, yeah, I went on vacation too. You feel me? So I was like, oh, yeah, let me drop this down a bit. Let me kind of rework myself back into that moment. You know what I'm saying? But it's things like that where back to what Cat Williams said, God put things on this earth for us to laugh at, right? For us to actually get our 7 chuckles in. Get them. Whether it's at yourself, at somebody else, it doesn't matter. Get them, right? Oh, it's not good to laugh at other people. Who told you that? Who told you that? There, you have to learn when and where, right? You have to learn when and where. Yes, you pick and choose. Got it. Cool. But get your 7 chuckles in. Get that laugh in, right? It's like make it your tiny exercise. When you're feeling down, think about something that's gonna make you laugh, or put something on that can make you laugh, right? Like it's very important that we get back to having a sense of humor and being able to laugh at things, because I think that today's society, with the way that influencers and the world is, how they're changing things, it's taken away most people's ability just to be human, right? It's almost as if people are conditioning us to be robots. And it's like, nah, like it's okay to laugh. It's okay to have a good time. It's okay not to be understood. It's okay to have those moments where you're like, you know what? I know you might have hurt yourself, but that was kind of funny. It was. You know what I mean? But we have to think about those moments and how that affects us. Um, Sense of humor and why it matters, right? How our emotion and community um, kind of goes with that, right? The reflection of it is understanding that we share laughter and sense of humor to connect with people, right? We use it to create bonds and memories, right? And like I said, as the most recent thing is, I did a bonsai tree workshop just yesterday, and having to sit down at a table with 2 people who I don't know, and I'm sharing an experience with them, and I may never meet them again, right? But just having that moment, and the husband creating a moment where I laughed at something and had lighthearted conversation, I'm gonna remember that, right? Like I'm gonna remember I'm literally the only black guy in this class, and I sat at a table, and these people made me feel comfortable. The husband made me laugh. The wife was very charming and nice and warm and welcoming. And it's just like, you know what I mean? So it creates the bonds, it creates the memories, like the shared memories. It actually helps reduce isolation, right? Because a lot of times we tend to isolate ourselves from everybody when we're going through things. But we got to realize that humor is glue, right? It sticks us to people. It bonds us to situations and things, right? So, you know, spend time, a little bit of time, that much, that much. Just reflect on why in tough and lonely times a joke or laughter really did something. It really shifted everything for you, right? Understanding that, like as I shared with you in my hard times with dealing with death or dealing with certain situations in life where I didn't know which way I was going, how it changed me in those moments, how it helped me out, getting away from that particular emotion and actually changed it for the better, right? So we need to look at those situations and see how we can build upon that on our regular everyday to day experiences. I'll tell you like this, and I think that we all have it, right? We're all on social media. I'm pretty sure if you go into any one of your social medias and you can look at somebody sending you a meme or what they call a GIF and how it made you laugh in the moment. I literally will tell you, I think I get that. I get that a lot, right? Because my sister, she loves to like tell me how great of a sister she is, or send me like little memes to be like, you should give your sister $100 today. To the brothers out there that have sisters, don't do that. Don't be giving her no $100. All right, don't do don't do that. I'm joking. But like she'll send things like that, right? And in that moment, I will get a little, huh, that's funny. You know what I mean? And when we look at that, how things on social media, like those memes and those gifts that we come across, what people send us, um, those are valuable moments, right? And I don't think we put enough on it. I don't want to put too much sauce on it, but those are actually valuable moments because it kind of breaks the monotony of the day. It kind of gives us something to kind of get a little laugh at. So I would really kind of like look at that, definitely do that because something very simple is very powerful, right? And leaving this episode and even doing the research in that, when I look back at it at this episode, it's gonna actually bring more to me to understand why it's important to do that, right? As this time in my life right now where I am in my purpose, right? I have my structure. I have a lot of things that I'm very much aware of, but I allow certain aspects of my life to kind of dominate a little bit too much to where I can use sense of humor in those moments. And I don't want to be so serious, so stern, you know what I mean? But I think that something that we look as it being a simple thing, it's very, very powerful. Having a sense of humor is simple but powerful. Um, Listen, you don't have to be a comedian, right? If you're bad at telling jokes, don't do it. Leave it to the professionals. But sometimes if we just notice the ridiculous things in life or within ourselves and we just let ourselves laugh at it, that's enough, right? Like, that's enough. We have enough going on in the world where we can laugh at it, right? And I'm not political. I'm not too religious. I am practicing more and more with God and religion and stuff like that. But I will tell you that again, not everything is so serious in the Bible, right? There's good moments in the Bible. There's things that you can laugh at in the Bible, just like in this world. There are many things that you can laugh at in this world, right? We can go from whatever the news is, we can laugh at whatever somebody said, or whatever's the viral moment of the week or the day or whatever. There's always opportunities and moments for us to laugh, right? So let's take those moments, right? Laugh. It's okay. Like, laugh, right? If I watch somebody slip on some black ice and I see they get up and they good, but they got a little limp, guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna laugh. Like that's what's gonna happen, right? Like so we have to do that. Like, again, we take those little moments and we're able to find some sense of humor in those moments. Now, we want the best for people. We don't want to see nobody hurt. We don't want to see nobody, in the worst shape. But also at the same time, once we've identified that everything is cool and copacetic, you can get that laughing. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure we've seen our friends do some things where we can get the laugh in there, and honestly, kind of go from there. Um, what I will tell you is remember that having a sense of humor is really good for your physical health, right? All of the benefits that it does inside the body, um, is really something to remember, right? What I would also remind you is that it's good for the mental. It's not a substitute for you to not go to the gym because I just told you it burned a few extra calories, but it is a tool that you add to all the healthy habits that you've created already, right? Um, laughter laughter isn't fluff. Laughter, it helps your body, your mind, your relationships, right? The importance of having a sense of humor in those areas and that part of your life can do a lot of benefits. So understand that we need to laugh. We need to laugh. And yes, some people are like, well, we're in serious times, we're in dire times. Everything is not that serious, right? I understand where the economy is, but there's solutions to that, right? For people that say, well, this economy is not making this, you got to make adjustments. It, I don't want to make it sound so simple, but sometimes it is that simple. You have to make adjustments. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you can't find laughter in anything, right? You have to understand that we can laugh, right? So I'm going to challenge a lot of you today if you can find one thing that makes you laugh. One, not 10, one. Right now, though. Do it right now. Like once you finish this episode, don't turn this off. But once you finish this episode, find one thing that makes you laugh. Whether it was a memory, it's something that you talked about with your friend, something like a little dumb pun, whatever it is, give yourself that break, give yourself that moment to laugh. Laugh. It's okay. Um, if you invest a few moments of your day to get a genuine laugh, like a genuine laugh, the one that hits the gut, touches the soul, you might not just feel better, but you might be really doing yourself a favor that you don't even realize. So try to find those moments in your daily life to get yourself a genuine laugh. Go ahead, laugh. Laugh in front of people, laugh in your car. Sure, I laugh in my car before I go to work too. Oh, these people are about to piss me off. The moment I cross that threshold, they finna tell me something that I don't really care about at this very moment. But I laugh, right? Find yourself a moment in every day to have a good, genuine laugh. Because again, you don't realize how much it's actually doing for your body. Um, Listen, I appreciate you guys for tuning in with me and rocking with me. It is 2026. And I really hope that this year is a prosperous year for each and every one of you. I have my goals. I have my things that I promised myself. And I did a lot of recording when I was away. I spent a few days in Paris. I spent a few days in Switzerland, and in those recordings, there's a lot of things that I had to remind myself of because again, I pride myself on being truthful with people, right? I pride myself on giving people who I am, and I'm not afraid of people giving me their honest opinion of who I am, so I can actually become a better person. So a lot of time that I spent away was a lot in reflection, and I can greatly appreciate that. But with 2026 underway, we're a full week in. 1 week already. 7 days has gone by. Look at that. It's gone, right? But I can tell you I've done a lot since I've been back, right? I went to a Nets game on Sunday. Um, which is the amazing thing. I didn't really get a chance to talk to him, but I shook his hand. He's a very popular guy. His name's Mr. Whammy. He's usually at all the Nets games, and I had a moment to like shake his hand and just say hello, and go from there. And I went to a bonsai bar workshop yesterday, so I'm really off to a really good start for the year, and I had some laughing moments in there, right? I had that sense of humor. And that's why I feel like for me personally, how much this episode truly does resonate with me personally. And I hope that it resonates with somebody out there for them to help their everyday life as well. Again, I don't have to affect 20 people. I don't have to affect 30,000 people. But if I get one person to find something in these episodes to actually help them out in a long way, I'm very proud of that, right? So, I want you guys to drop in the comments or DM me on all social media platforms. It's the same, the general DAGENERAL 414 on all platforms. A funny story, a funny memory that you've had. Any comments, please drop them down here. Also, follow me on each and every platform. I truly am grateful for each and every follower, for each and every subscriber. Listen, this is one step at a time. This is one of the goals that I have for 2025, and I'm very proud and happy to see this come to fruition for myself. And that's why I'm very, very adamant on wanting to see things come true for everybody else. I am one of those guys where I want to see everybody win. There's enough money in this world for everybody. Go get it. There's enough food in this world for everybody. Let's eat. Like, that's the type of person that I am and that I've been. But definitely wish each and every one of you a happy new year, wonderful and amazing 2026. Our next episode, we are going to talk about something a little bit heavy. I know we spent a light day today, but our next episode will be a little bit heavy. But again, follow me on all platforms, please. TikTok, Instagram, subscribe on here. Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell, get your notifications when I'm dropping these episodes, when you get in the shorts and everything of that nature. And I'm starting to think that I got to start recording my everyday life so people can kind of see what I'm really doing every day. Forgive me. I know that in these episodes, I don't like to dress like every other podcaster or anything like that, because on days like today, I have other things going on. So like after this episode, I'm actually going to go get some food now, and then I have to head off to my bowling league. But presentation is always important, and I know that. But also be mindful that I am a regular person. I will never sit up here and act as if, I don't care how many followers I get, I don't care how many subscribers I get. I can't act as if I'm that important or that my life is that crazy where I can't just be myself. But again, next episode will be a little bit heavy, but it's going to be something of importance, and everything that we talk about is of something importance, and is also going to have something to do with me. So again, this is the Unfiltered Journey podcast. I'm your host, Will. Listen, hit those follow buttons, hit that bell, leave your comments, tell me a funny story, give me some show ideas, some episode ideas. I really am grateful for each and every one of you. I hope that you guys have a great day. Peace.